Are you sick and tired of just constantly chasing after cold leads that seem like they never want to hear from you? Well, is it really the leads that are the issue, or is it something else entirely? Let's talk about it. I'm really excited about today's topic because it has the potential to explode your sales by more than 390% with one simple strategy. And that strategy is called lead nurturing. Now, if you've ever used marketing to generate leads for your business, then you've probably figured out by now that just generating leads does not necessarily equate to more sales, but rather there's a whole sales process that leads need to go through before they actually become a customer. Now, if they're starting out as a lead, then they're really in the discovery phase, and we need to get them to where they're a customer, right? Now, to do that, we need to initiate contact first of all, and then we need to qualify the lead, present an offer, answer any objections, and then finally close the sale. Oh, and ask for referrals at the end if we're being smart. So, lead generation is really just the beginning of the whole sales process. In fact, nurturing leads into sales can be equally, if not more challenging than actually generating the leads in the first place. So let's dig into the intricacies of lead nurturing, why it's so important, how to do it effectively, and a whole lot more. All right, let's get into it. Now, the first thing you need to understand about lead nurturing is really the psychology behind what actually drives people from the lead stage to the customer stage. If you're in sales, you've probably heard that we buy from those who we know, like, and trust. In fact, those are the necessary ingredients for any sale to take place, and this is really the foundation of lead nurturing. The whole idea is really to establish trust with your prospects and get them to know you and like you enough that they're willing to pull out their credit card and buy from you. Like, have you ever connected with a lead and the chemistry was just there, it was just on, and you knew right away that they were going to become a customer? Well, that's because you created a quick connection that allowed you to get them to know you, like you, and trust you enough to want to buy from you. Now, that's easier said than done, but technically speaking, how does one go about doing this on a consistent basis anyways? Well, let me explain. See, there was a study done by Salesforce where they found that it takes an average of 7 to 13 contacts to actually deliver a qualified sales lead. In other words, to take a lead from where they're cold to being a potential buyer, it's necessary for that lead to see your offer between 7 and 13 times. Familiarity breeds trust. And the more familiar you are with somebody, the more you're going to trust them, right? Well, that's why we're told not to talk to strangers. You don't want to be trusting somebody that you don't really know. So let's talk about how we can get your leads more familiar with you and your business, and in turn, have you become less and less of a stranger to your leads. Now, one really popular way to create multiple touch points with the lead is through remarketing ads. And there's remarketing ads on a lot of different platforms, from Facebook to Google and a myriad of others. But this is where you actually show ads to people who've already visited your website and seen your offer. I mean, you've probably experienced this before where you're looking at products online and the next thing you know, they're just following you around everywhere on Facebook, on every website you go to. You just start seeing the ads for that product everywhere. Well, those are called remarketing ads. And that's one way of creating multiple connections or touch points with a lead. But there's also social media, your website, emails, and a whole host of other tools that you can use to increase the number of touch points with the prospect. Now, while all of those methods are great, it's quite a lot to wrap the mind around, especially if you're just getting started out with online marketing. So rather than try and teach you about all those different strategies in this video, we're just going to focus on 3 methods that are the most accessible and the most familiar to the majority of people out there. And those 3 things would be phone calls, emails, and text messages. In fact, anyone can do these 3 things with a smartphone, But just sending out arbitrary emails, text messages, and phone calls isn't really going to cut it. There's a lot of science behind how this stuff works. So let's dive into the science behind lead nurturing. The first key point comes from a study by Inside Sales that was published in the Harvard Business Review, where they found that the likelihood of a lead turning into a customer actually drops by 391% if that lead isn't followed up with in the first minute after they become a lead. So your timing is key when it comes to following up with leads and nurturing them into sales. In fact, it can quite literally make or break your entire business. And most of you have probably already experienced this, where you get a solid lead, you're really excited to talk with them, and you just can't seem to get a hold of them. I mean, the odds are that's because you waited too long to follow up with the lead. And look, you're not alone either. We know that it's highly unlikely that any business is consistently able to get back to leads within 1 minute of them filling out a form on their website. It just doesn't happen. This is really only something that can be accomplished on a consistent basis using an automated follow-up system. Oh, by the way, we actually have developed a system that can do this for you. You can go find out more at exponentially.io. But let's talk about why this works so well and how you can use this information for your benefit. First and foremost, everyone these days has a cell phone, and most everyone is on their cell phone all day long. In fact, studies show that the average person checks their phone every 12 minutes, which is about 80 times per day. Isn't that crazy? But the beauty is, you can reach people on their cell phone with a call, text, and even an email. So that means you already have a direct way to connect with every single lead that comes into your business. Now, if we've already established that following up with text, email, and phone calls manually is just not really effective, then how do we actually go about setting up a system to do this for us? Well, in developing our own lead nurturing platform, we found it to be most effective to use an automated text message, email, or voice call to nurture leads into booked appointments through a booking calendar. Now, this does a few different things. It takes your cold leads and connects with them across multiple mediums, which increases the touch points or connections with the lead. That helps the lead get to know you, like you, and trust you over time. And a system like this starts to open the doors for you to follow up with the lead in less than a minute with an automated email or text message. And text messaging is the biggest player, since the average open rate for text message marketing campaigns is 98%, compared to just 22% open rates for an email marketing campaign. Not to mention, the average person replies to a text message within 3 minutes, compared to 384 minutes for an email. So by sending an automated text message and email right away after a lead comes in, you're able to start nurturing that lead and start moving them closer and closer to becoming a sale. And we found that pushing people to an appointment booking calendar works really well. So what you can do is you can send the lead a text message with a link to your calendar where they can then book a call with you, and all of this can happen within just seconds of them becoming a lead. And since the average open rate for a text message is about 98%, there's a really high chance that they'll open up your text message and go ahead and schedule a call with you or an in-person meeting if that's what you prefer. And you'll find that some people will even just reply directly to the text message, which gets the conversation started with them right away. Now, if that wasn't enough to convince you of the power of lead nurturing systems, there's another widely accepted study which found that 78% of customers buy from the first responder. So by sending your leads an automated email and text message within seconds of them becoming a lead, you can also be the first person to respond to them before they even have a chance to start checking out any of your competitors. Because that's what will happen if you wait about 5 or 10 minutes to get back to leads. They're going to just go hop on Google and start checking out some of your competitors. If they reach out to one of your competitors and they end up getting in touch with them right away, then you've pretty much lost that deal. So an automated follow-up system is going to put you in a position to increase your lead to sale rate exponentially, and it's pretty straightforward to get set up. By the way, you can check out our system that does all of this stuff for you if you'd like. You just go to appointmentally.io. But let's look at some different software that you can piece together to set something like this up for yourself. If you look online, there's a myriad of solutions for sending automated emails and text messages. And those are the two that I would suggest you start with. And if you can combine those with an appointment booking software, then you're really going to see some amazing results. Now, if you can only use one follow-up medium, go with text messaging, since the open rates and reply rates are so high. Just keep in mind that you have to have permission to reach out to people via text messages. Otherwise, you can get yourself in some pretty serious legal trouble. So this isn't something you would want to just send out to cold prospects, but rather people who have submitted a form showing that they're actually interested in hearing about what you have to offer. So basically, as long as you're generating leads and then putting them into the follow-up system, you should be good to go. Hey, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this video. If there's anything you have questions about, don't be shy. Just drop them in the comments below. I'll answer your questions there. Also, smash that like button if you haven't already. It really helps with the YouTube algorithms to get this video spread to more and more people. And subscribe if you haven't already as well. Hey, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.